And they're going on the whole a follow up on the Uwuland markets. Um, this being terrible. I think there's a bit to do with merch. I think this is to do with merch. To be fair, there's got Bow. I know Bow and Newbie had really rough times with us.
We are back on the Uwuland and VidCon, updating you on what other streamers said and some of the information Vex gave to us in part 1. If you haven't watched part 1, click the box to the right. First up, I will be updating some of the information that we had from part 1 that Vex talked about, aka lines and security specifically, and then I'll be going into the footage. Yuzo, Bao, Numi, or Akuma, and Cinder, but no.
VTuber physics aren't real. They aren't realistic.
Hold on, pause, but they aren't all just statements, specifically Cinder. I will be highlighting some of the cool stuff that did happen at this convention. It's just very unfortunate. It seemed to be an absolute mess. Okay, getting into this. This is a photo here given to me by...
Holy shit.
They gave it to me as they attended the con, and they wanted me to see what it was like, and I was very...
Holy shit.
This is, what would you think, a picture of a crowd at Uwuland, but no, it's a picture of the line to get signing from your favorite VTuber or just to meet them. Can you see a line?
Holy shit.
I cannot. I cannot see a line for the life of me. And apparently there wasn't really one, everyone was just shoved into a big ball of people, which is one very dangerous fire and safety hazard for numerous reasons. And
that's crazy.
It wasn't until you got to the front of the line they actually sorted you into which VTuber you wanted to see, which made this very difficult and a very long line. And I don't think they were realistically taking anyone's safety into consideration here.
No.
And they say it's an overreaction, but trampolines, fires, all these things are very real, hurting the talents, hurting the guests, especially seeing more incidents of stalking coming out, especially with the tricky situation at the moment. This needs to be taken
kind of
seriously
creepy.
on actually how much security it is for VTubers, as if anyone who's been on YouTube for a long time, these situations can go bad really quickly.
Yeah,
and we have to make sure that
they
the
can.
guests and the talents are taken care of. This picture here is one of the entries into Uwuland. They were not checking IDs here, and anyone can just walk in and out, and it wasn't properly set up, as you can kind of see. Yes, it was very hard trying to find footage of this. But this is another photo of the line area. I just want to point it out, as there is a security card back then, and some people were saying there was security at this convention, and specifically I was talking about Uwuland not having security, but they did like 1 or 2 security officers on Saturday and Sunday.
But what, is one guy over at least maybe 500 people, 400 to 500 people, or even 100 people. What is he supposed to do? One guy versus a massive. What is one security guy supposed to do? That's insane. It's one security guard to try to sort out all a line like this. That's crazy.
There was none on Friday. But 1 or 2 for an area that contains 2 to 4,000 people at one time is not enough, especially with how many people were there doing their meet and greets.
That's crazy.
It's very hard for a security officer to manage this area and this number of
people. Yeah, well, one guy versus
It's great that they had to borrow these security guards from the rest of WeebCon, because it means they were now down security guards. And a comment mentioned that there was police officers at WeebCon, and they were checking stuff. From reports, the police were there not to manage the con, manage security. They were there because there was a violent incident or a drunken incident, something like that, at the con. So that's why they were checking people, because there was an actual incident at the con. They were not part of security.
Fantastic.
I just wanted to show these images to back up what everyone has been saying about how unorganized it was, especially in the signing.
It looks unorganized as shit. There's one security guard there. Holy crap.
Is about concert areas.
Holy crap.
And mixed a little bit in with WeebCon. And before with the performances, which I'm going to say so no one's upset, I think the girls did a lovely job, and from the stories they're telling, it's absolutely amazing. It turned out as well as it did. Because anyone else, it could have been a disaster. They were very lucky, and
very lucky
they had such talented VTubers with them. Because honestly, I'm surprised it went so well the mismanagement as it was.
We made it over to the warehouse where we met up with everybody, and they were taking us over to where the little sound check area was.
The whole entire place was under construction because everything that was in there was going to be transported over to WeebCon to build Uwuland. So there was just wooden planks everywhere. We were there waiting for like 2.5 hours. Soundcheck didn't happen. They told us that the company working with the hotel were behind on setting up, and so we were not allowed to set up that night, and we had to wait until the next morning. Bao was freaking out. Bao was like, I'm gonna shit myself, I need to practice our song, I need to finish learning our song.
Sound checks and performance checks is
Yeah.
very important. One,
Sound checks are kind of important.
Songs for the sound in general, as we're going to see further down with the sound problems,
that this has repercussions and it makes everyone more anxious, and the likelihood of things just going wrong.
Yeah.
It also doesn't give the talents a chance to actually experiment with what they want to do on stage, which can make the performance worse than they want.
Check. So the guys were not very happy to see us there. They didn't even let me practice my full set. They didn't let Cinder do anything. And when Bao was practicing, they said, so are you practicing 3 or like everything? It pissed me off.
We find here
Yeah.
that Yumi wasn't even allowed to practice, same with all the other girls that Sashito was involved with this, and then
Bruh. Like, see, I would say it's not my fault you're fucking disorganized, mate. Let me do my fucking, let me be more, I'm trying to be organized. It's not my fault you're fucking unorganized.
Do you want dinner?
No, I'm alright.
There's scones and soup made.
I'll come down in a second. Alright. Let's continue.
the staff members just continued to be horribly rude to them. They had to set up their own area to sit in, and it seemed very messy. But a general theme going on here is that the staff are incredibly rude.
I had another problem in the beginning. One of the things that we were told would be there was a specific designated area for the content creators. It was not there. And so me, Seth, and Farrell were talking about it, and then that's when we made that little area in the corner with the ropes. So, another problem, Holmes told me before the concert, I need time to plug things in, because one of the AV guys yelled at him and threatened to kick him out and get his ass thrown out and banned from the hotel. Because when Holmes was checking up on all of our stuff, these guys were unplugging all of our shit. And so Holmes was like, what the fuck? And he was going to replug everything in, and the guy just was like, what the fuck are you doing? Cursing him out.
And luckily they were able to set up and were able to perform, but they still had some problems with the sounds. But
Really?
they did have the best
What a
sound
fucking
set up
rude
out of the
cunt.
girls, and that was probably because they knew more what they were doing to do it themselves. So here's the performance, just because it's kind of cool.
Then we just performed. To a point where Holmes has to fix it himself. Like what? I don't get it. But the sound people were just like so stupid. Why did we pay them? Why?
Yeah.
Surely there had to be a better sound team.
We're now going to go into Bao's performance here before we move into any booth signings or anything problems that came up. But a main complaint here can be broken up to sound problems. Again, not doing sound checks. People not being able to hear certain spots in the room because they hadn't been checked. Backgrounds not going to be checked. Light, nothing being actually checked with the VTubers. Like, none of the information was actually given to them of what they needed to provide, or that they had to provide anything. None of they needed was actually provided. It seems like a giant mess, and they didn't actually. It just feels like they didn't want this to actually go well. They did not manage their time well before the event. The staff to get everything organized, as they gave very little content. They gave very little contact, it seems, to the VTubers. And a big problem here for Bao is that she had a couple songs to sing, and they did not do it in order, and she just had to randomly guess when the song started what she was going to
That's
sing,
fucking
which
crazy.
for most people would make them absolutely panic.
Exhilarating. I tried to be like as loud as possible because, you know, the audio. So I'm glad that people could at least kind of hear me, or at least like heard me at some parts. Apparently everyone in the back heard me really well, but not the people in the front. I don't know. Tell me why they. Oh yeah, and tell me why, chat. I told them I wanted to start off soft and then end with a banger. So the official sound list was gonna be "Love Me Not," 52 Hearts, and then Citrus Love. They played all of it out of order. Oh, I gave them one piece of instruction for me. I was like, you know what? Fuck everything else. Alright, because clearly you guys can't do that. At least play my songs in order.
That's annoying.
Whatever, it's okay.
That's annoying.
Why is there rotating pussy on my screen? I don't know. I'm not surprised they didn't ask you to. They didn't ask for my instrumentals. They didn't ask for graphics. They didn't ask for anything. Fucking random graphics. They also never asked me for graphics. I didn't know I could send in graphics to like have. Oh, they hated your asses. I know.
I don't. That's
Dude, look,
that's.
the graphics is the end of Evangelion. It really felt like it. Not gonna lie. The end of Evangelion.
That's crazy. I can beat it. That will piss me off.
Oh God! Everyone knew the lyrics.
That will piss me off because I can barely hear Bell. W crowd, by the way. W crowd.
Judy, look! The graphics is the end of Evangelion. It really felt like it. Not gonna lie. The end of Evangelion.
I was like, actually W crowd.
Tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down.
So this story is about the line for the signings. This is part of one story from the many past.
That would be stressful as fuck, though. Like, I mean, I'm very surprised they even still perform because I would have said, nah, fuck yous. If you're not gonna sort it out properly, then I'm not gonna. Then fuck you. I'm not gonna make myself look like a dick because you can't organise yourself fucking properly. The guy who chewed out, like Numi's friend, he's a dickhead. He's a dickhead. Honestly, what the fuck? Crazy.
That happened there. If again go to part one, a lot more is in there, but this backs up kind of Vex's story and other stories we've had so far of what a mess this was. As this guy just randomly waltzes in and starts acting like staff, and that should never happen. Why is there no staff to actually see that there is some random guy pretending to be staff? Where is the real staff? Where are they?
Things that went on Saturday. First of all, this guy that was navigating the line was rushing everybody aggressively. It kind of made me a little what the hell because he would be kind of tapping them and saying like, you gotta hurry, you gotta go, or trying to keep the time, but I don't think you need to aggressively tell my beautiful Noombas and all of the other communities to do it in that manner. All of us were like, who is this guy? We later found out that guy was not MSM staff or Uwuland staff. He was just some guy that got in somehow and got an exhibitor badge, I guess. Oh my god!
This next part is Yuzo and Numi.
That is crazy.
How their meetup had to be switched around and moved, and this is not new, as we know from the Twin Tales in the previous video, and some others, that things were very messy, booths were moved, tables were moved, meetups were moved, meetups were cancelled, a lot of people were promised to perform, or just didn't get to. So
Wow.
this is two VTubers' accounts on this happening, and all things considered, they took it well,
but this should not be happening, or at least not to this scale. Like,
No.
one or two scuff-ups, sure, but like multiple people had to get their stuff moved around.
So sorry. Again, I don't want to show when I'm upset like that, but unfortunately, it shows through when things like this happen. So in the morning, it was supposed to be my meet and greet with Yuzu at the Uwuland booth. Things ended up happening that made it so I left and we moved to the Novel Horizons booth instead.
Us at a meet and greet, which we had to move, by the way. Which we had to move for, I don't even want to get into the specifics, but it was really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
We had to move from the original point being Uwuland to the Novel Horizons booth, and it was just like a shit show. Thankfully, it worked. And everyone.
That's
got their
crazy.
votes, and thankfully, everything worked out in the end. It was really smooth. It was just super last minute, and I was really stressed because I was.
This part is not uncommon of the.
That's crazy.
Just losing the VTubers like merch items or giveaway items or props. And Yuzo is no exception to this. This happened to Vex and a few others, and I have no idea how they managed this. Like, so many items to go missing. I'm assuming they just were understaffed, but who knows, honestly.
Uwuland didn't bring my standee, and they left it in the warehouse in the corner of the room. So, like, they made another standee, but, like, half body with the big wings that were on my model. So it was just like a half body Yuzu when they had the real one in the warehouse.
That's so shit.
Yeah, they fucking contained me, man. I was like an SEC.
Oh, that is so shit.
Suck the Uwuland side slash Weepon, I guess. So this is all the information I could find out at this time of what happened. Honestly, Uwuland Market has left a terrible impression on me. I don't really get that feel they understand what they're doing, especially seeing this seems to be the second year they have scuffed up. But guys, I left some fun little tidbits at the end of this video that I cut out of this that I just thought were funny and you should watch. But I'll see you guys next time.
That's kind of
for
shit,
the next
though.
video. See you later, my little delinquent.
That's kind of shit.
Do your best, bestie.
They're screaming dent!
Yes.
Who's crying, bro? Who's crying?
Fair play to Bal, though. Fair play to Bal.
I fucking can. I hate her so much. I hate her so much. Holy! It wasn't blubber, it was the dent. It was the Bal dent. And it was animated too. In the room too. In the
Well done.
section because we had like a closed.
I'm not. That is the unprofessionalism of this is unreal.